How's it going, everybody? Just a quick reminder before we dive into the video that the Avengers Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway still continues. If you would like to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment below with your thoughts and your favorite superhero. Tony Stark stated in Avengers Infinity War that Thanos had been stuck inside of his head for the past 6 years since he sent an army to New York. He was also given a very haunting vision from the Scarlet Witch in Avengers Age of Ultron. Since these events, Tony has been preparing for an alien invasion. After all, that's why Tony attempted to create Ultron in the first place. But we all know how that ended. And then in the vision that he had, thanks to the Scarlet Witch's telepathic powers, he saw all of his fellow Avengers dead. Not only that, but Captain America grabbed him and said, "You could have saved us. Why didn't you do more?" Since then, Tony has been haunted and tortured by the events of the Battle of New York and the vision he saw where it was apparent that the rest of the Avengers died because of him. So when Tony says that Thanos has been in his head over the past 6 years, what he's really saying is that since the events of the Battle of New York, Tony has been tortured with the memories and the thoughts of what happened. And since the vision, he has been tortured with living in fear that an alien invasion would come and all of his friends would die. Since then, Tony has been preparing through all of these years for an alien invasion, and his response and defense was nanotechnology. And nanotech probably would have been enough against any other villain except the Mad Titan. In the end, it wasn't enough, and his greatest fear essentially came true. Although his exact vision did not come true, half of the universe ended up getting wiped away from existence, and Tony could not stop it from happening. This is what Tony lived in fear of over all these years, what tortured him over all these years. And he prepared for this moment to be able to prevent it from happening. But he couldn't, and this is where his true torture begins. Tony now has to live with the fact that he failed. He knew what was coming, he prepared for it, and could not stop it from happening. He was not enough. Half of the universe got wiped out from existence, and Tony is going to blame himself. He will start thinking of what ifs. What if the Sokovia Accords didn't happen? What if the Avengers were not split up and he did not go against Steve Rogers? What if the Avengers were still all together and they all went against Thanos together? Could they all have defeated him? What if he never got Peter Parker involved? Could that have somehow made it to where he did not turn to dust? These what ifs are going to be what truly haunts him. Could he have done things differently? Could he have done more? His worst fear came to life. Avengers died. Half of the universe died, and he's wondering if he could have done more. And one of the greatest tortures to Tony is that he survived his failure. But what if this failure is actually what makes defeating Thanos in Avengers 4 possible? Why did the one scenario that Doctor Strange saw where the Avengers won ultimately have to start with their defeat? Why did it involve half of the Avengers dying and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man dying, but Tony Stark staying alive? Perhaps it was because in their current timeline that they exist in, there actually was no way to win. And the only way to defeat Thanos was to change events that happened in the past, such as the Battle of New York, Age of Ultron, and the Civil War between the Avengers. And perhaps Tony Stark is the only person that could change these events. A person like Tony Stark can't accept failure. It'll eat him alive more than anything. Especially when that failure involves half of the universe dying. So Tony will set out and try to figure out a way to undo his failures, in which there really are only two. One, you could get the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos and use it to undo his snap, or two, go back in time. Seeing as how Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and half of the Guardians of the Galaxy just got their butts kicked by Thanos, I don't think he thinks one is possible. Not to mention, nobody probably knows where Thanos is. So that leaves option number 2, time travel, and for a person like Tony Stark, that's probably not too far out of reach. Time travel is pretty much all but confirmed for Avengers 4 anyways, so this is most likely the route that he goes down, especially with the help from Scott Lang. It's been widely speculated that they will not figure out how time travel works until years after the events of Avengers Infinity War. This will give Tony Stark plenty of time to figure out what events in the past he needs to change in order to make defeating Thanos a possibility. Leaked set photos for Avengers 4 have already shown us the possibility of the Avengers going back to the Battle of New York and the events of Civil War. If all ends up to be true, Tony Stark will have several years to decide what events he needs to undo and where exactly he needs to go back in time, with the ultimate goal of changing events in the past to where the future is set up to where they could possibly defeat Thanos. So ultimately, Tony's suffering and torture will lead to the Avengers being able to defeat Thanos in Avengers 4. I think that this is all part of the one single scenario where the Avengers win that Doctor Strange saw. Clearly, Tony Stark was supposed to survive and is a key to this one scenario. And the Avengers not being able to win in the current timeline that they exist in would set up time travel in Avengers 4 quite nicely. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that Tony's failures will ultimately lead to the Avengers defeating Thanos? And do you think that time travel will be the key to the Avengers' victory? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The giveaway still continues. If you would like to enter for your chance to win a copy of Avengers Infinity War on Blu-ray, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment below with your thoughts and your favorite superhero. As always, thanks for watching. Woof woof.